What's up guys, today I'm going to show you how to build a gaming PC under 55,000. First up is the CPU. For the CPU I'd go with an FX6300. It'll cost you about 7,500. The FX6300 has 8 cores and an 8MB L3 cache. Its closest competitor is the i3-4130. The i3 is actually 20% slower than that of the FX6300, but the FX uses about twice as much power. In the long run though, the FX6300 will have a longer lifespan than that of the i3, which is why I'd recommend going for the FX6300. For the motherboard, I'd go with the Gigabyte GA78LMT USB 3. It has USB 3 support. It has 4 slots for DDR3 RAM of 1333 MHz. The price of the motherboard is actually quite cheap. It costs about 4,750, and for that price it's quite a steal. Next up is the graphic card. For the graphic card, I'd go with the R9 270X or the 750 Ti. The R9 270X has 30% more performance than the 750 Ti, but the R9 270X consumes 3 times as much power as the 750 Ti. If you have time to purchase your PC, then I would suggest waiting for the 950 Ti to come out by the end of this year and buy that. The 950 Ti puts together the best of both worlds. It has the same power consumption as that of the 750 Ti, but has the performance of the R9 270X, and I'd highly recommend waiting for it. The price of the R9 270X will be about 14,600. The 750 Ti should cost you about 11,500. There's no exact price for the 950 Ti yet, but the assumption is that it will cost you somewhere around 13 to 14,000. For the RAM, I'd go with the Corsair Value 1333 MHz RAM. The single slot will optimize the utilization of the 8GB and also will give you spare slots that you can use to fill up RAM if necessary later. For the hard disk, I'd go with a 1TB, either a Seagate or a Western Digital, whichever you find to be cheaper. For the same price though, I'd find the Seagate hard drives more reliable and would go for them. For the drive bay, I'd go with a DVD writer, as most hard copies of games are still in DVD forms, and Blu-ray drives are quite overpriced as of now. The DVD drive would cost you about 950 rupees. For the PSU, I'd go with the Corsair VX650. It's quite a good SMPS for its price, and it leaves quite a bit of wattage if you ever need to overclock your CPU at any time. The SMPS should cost you about 4,200 rupees. For the cabinet, I'd go with the Antec X1. It comes with 2 USB ports in the front, a USB 3 and a USB 2, along with a headset and a microphone jack in the front. It also comes with a 120mm LED fan in the front. The cabinet should cost you about 2,800 rupees. For the price, it manages to fill all the basic criteria for a cabinet and manages to look quite slick. For the speakers, I'd go with an Altec Lasing 2.1 speakers. For the price you pay, these speakers are extraordinary. They provide the same quality as that of a 4.1 in the price of a 2.1 speaker. For the monitor, I'd go with a Dell 2014H. It's a 19.5-inch LCD monitor with a 1440 to 900 default resolution. The monitor should cost you about 6,750 rupees. For basic gaming purposes, this monitor should be quite sufficient. For the keyboard and mouse, I'd go with an optical USB mouse and a keyboard combo. To be honest, gaming keyboard and mouse are quite overrated. They don't actually make that big of a difference, and they're quite overpriced. I'd go with either a Dell or a Logitech keyboard and mouse combo. It should cost you about 850 rupees tops. And finally, for the UPS, I'd go with an APC 1.1 kVA UPS. It should have quite sufficient battery backup, allowing you to back up all your data before you turn your system off. From the benchmarks of this system, I can tell you'll get about 45 frames per second from Far Cry 4, about 51 from Battlefield 4. However, if you opted for the 750 Ti, then you can expect about 56 frames from Far Cry 4 and about 43 frames from Battlefield 4. And now for the bad. I often found the gameplay to be stuttering when I move from one location to another too fast. It's because the system is a budget-based PC, which limits its performance to a certain extent. Also, the system has very little room for improvement. The system has a lifespan of about 2 to 3 years. And if you consider upgrading the graphic card in the future, it'll expand the lifespan to about 4 years. Beyond that, the system is not recommended. I'd honestly recommend for you to wait and get the cash together to buy a mid-range PC, as it'll expand the lifespan of your PC from 3 to 4 years to 5 to 7 years. But if you're really short of cash or short on time, then I'd suggest you go for it. So that was my budget PC build. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.